How much
What are
is
we
it for?
paying?
Paying Peter Hoffman about $53.06.
5306
Okay.
for a seminar.
Do you need a motion or something?
Yes, we need a motion. Did you make that motion?
I make seconds.
I make a motion, we pay Peter Hoffman.
Okay, I second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You had a, why don't you come back, tell us where you live, who you are?
Right. My name's Matt Zaturka, and I live on Summer Road. And the reason I'm here, I'm just trying to get some info because recently I just found out through an email that a land that I abut to, the owner wants to do 61A forestry and open it up to open, what he calls it, like passive recreation for hiking and horseback riding and biking.
Right.
It was just that I didn't know anything about it until, like, he sent an email this week. I just didn't know if that was the proper procedure or...
What's he have now? What's the use now?
Well, where I live, it's a home, but his is just land. It hasn't been, he purchased it in October 2017 in the land, doesn't have a residence on it yet.
Okay. How big is the land?
Actually, I can show you about the map.
5 or
It's
6
about
acres?
14 acres.
14 acres.
Who owns it now?
A private person, he's the one that wants to do, I can show you here on the map. So that's where I live.
What's your address?
It's Summer Road, 72.
72.
That's a right-of-way that I own, like it's on my property, but we would share it. He would have access to it for his residence. And that's the, there's a cart path that goes through, and what he owns this piece, 7 and 8. So that's his frontage there, and this is a lot of it's wetlands. And he wants to put, so I just didn't know anything about like a 61A. I was just trying, I know he wants to put like hiking trails, like he has it staked out, and they go like right behind like our house, and then throughout here as well. And
So
part of-
he's opening it up to,
Mhm.
it's still going to be conserved land, it's just not going to be agriculture anymore.
It's going to be, like, he's going to do like a forestry, where
Right.
he has to harvest the wood.
And
then-
now it's in
I don't know what it was before, though.
61A is farmland.
Yeah, that's, I know.
So-
But
could be
but-
forestry.
Yeah,
Yes,
Forestry,
forestry, yeah.
farmland, agricultural.
right.
Yeah, he has-
That's
But he wants to take it out of 61A.
He wants to
What?
put it into, right now, it's just
Conservation.
regular land.
So
It
it's-
doesn't have any designation other than residential.
So it's R&A, so he's gonna put it into
He says
forestry
it's-
program.
It's
He's
not
gonna put it-
61A.
Yep, he's going to put it
It's
in,
not 61.
No, right now.
Correct, right.
Right now, it's not.
Right.
Right, he's gonna put it in, because he's
Gonna
paying
put a-
taxes on it for
Yeah.
residential
Yeah.
now,
Right.
right?
correct.
But if he puts it in 61A, he's going
Yep.
to have a forestry, he's going
Yep.
Yep.
he's going to do forestry there?
Yeah,
You let the trees grow.
he has to harvest it, like he's going to
Okay, so
manage
cut
it.
down the trees.
Cut down the trees in 10 years and things like that. Over the trail.
That's more of the purview of conservation, right?
Yeah.
Than us.
Okay.
But he wants to put hiking trails while he's on 61. I mean, this is his
Still
property. He
within
wants to put a-
conservation. If he puts a CR restriction on the land and opens it up to
Right.
But
passive
can he
recreation.
do that in 61A and
You don't-
do both at the same time?
You don't have to have a conservation restriction for 61A. I
No.
don't think so.
No, but
But
if
can
he's
you
gonna
have
do
it?
passive recreation on it, I would imagine they're gonna have some sort of say
Say on
on
it,
what
yeah.
they can do, right? For hiking trails and whatever.
But can you have both?
No, what do you think? What happens when you put it in recreation?
Well, if he's gonna put it into forestry, that would be its primary thing.
Yeah.
Right.
And if he wants to let people hike on it, I guess he can do that.
He's meeting with Carolyn tomorrow, Carolyn
he?
McDonald from Conservation.
Are they having a conservation meeting tomorrow?
No, I'm just going to speak to her on privately.
Oh, you're, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I called the selectmen just to try and figure out where to start collecting info about this, just because I didn't hear anything about it. Like I was never notified or anything. It was just that the owner sent me an email saying, "Oh, I'm doing this," and meeting with the forester on Monday or this weekend. I mean,
What,
this past
what
weekend.
think
exactly
they have
did he
to
say he
legally
was
tell you
doing?
what
Oh, he's
No.
going to put it into 61A?
And he's gonna be
I
the
think it
manager.
might be 61C.
Oh, he said 61A in his email, maybe, yeah, he had the
Well,
wrong
that's
letter.
what
See,
most people have it in,
Yeah,
but
That's
I believe forestry
But
is
he's gonna
have- yeah,
61A.
he's gonna-
It's part of the, there's three.
Big
It's a
61
lot better
family.
than having a cluster housing.
well, I wouldn't be zoned for that.
No,
'cause
I'm
it's
just
kinda-
kidding.
It'd be if they do it as a 40B.
That's
If
what
he
I'm
has
thinking.
if he has the, he'd have to have yeah, you got a
And
lot,
then we
long
share-
way to go.
40B,
We share a right of way as well. And,
400 feet of frontage.
the right of way is for like, because it's on my land, they have like the right to pass the road to their land for the residents, but not for like anything else. So I'm just trying to collect my info and,
Doesn't have any
Charlie,
frontage.
look at,
Huh?
well, this,
Yeah, it's
7
frontage.
has frontage, and 8 has frontage, but look at how they made it. Look at the frontage.
that's why there's the right of way.
Yeah. That's horrible. That was way
I'm just trying to
before us.
collect to
Yeah.
find out what the story is.
Yeah.
I didn't know if I was supposed to be notified.
Concom would be able to help you with that more
Yeah.
than us, because that's their
Uh-huh.
purview, not ours.
Okay. I didn't know if like changing zone, a zone
It's
designation.
not changing zones.
Oh, it's not?
Mm.
That's
Okay.
not
No,
for
they're
tax
sticking a
purposes.
designation on top of it
Oh,
for
okay.
tax purposes. But its underlying zoning would still be R and A.
Mm-hmm.
He just gets the taxes
tax
dramatically
break, yeah.
reduced.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Someday if he wants to develop it, if it's, it
That's
can
the-
be developed, then
That's
you
the
gotta pay
plan, yeah,
back
they could
taxes
put a
for
single
5 years.
family.
Then they'd have to pay the back taxes.
The town gets a right of first
Yeah,
refusal,
the
right?
town
Yeah.
gets the right of first refusal. Yep.
Yeah. I know the right of way, it's always a gray area, isn't it? A right of way?
It's recorded on at the Worcester County Registry of Deeds. It
Yeah,
appears a
like you
right
see
way.
the deed, but still, you read it and you're like,
You read it.
I read it and
What's-
read it
what-
and read it. And read it.
What do you say? It's just for a residence to right away? Is that what it said? Well, it's just
It
to the
just says they have
property.
the right to pass through it to do like electrical utilities and then to reach their
Reach the land.
land.
Yeah,
I can't
so-
impede their
Okay,
reaching
so
the land.
Can't put up a fence or a stone
whether he's
wall
got
or
a house
building
there or
or
he's got
something
a
else.
61A forestry, he's still got the right of way.
To pass through it.
Yeah,
What about to alter it?
the right
But
of
the
way?
what?
To alter like the right-of-way land?
No, I don't think you can do
I don't
that.
think you can alter
No.
your land.
No,
Yeah.
if it's, you've got the right of way, you give him the right of way. That's
But they,
your
because it's
land.
like a dirt, right now it's a small little dirt road. And then on the other side of the dirt road is maybe about like 20 feet of my land, which is kind of like grass and trees and things like that. In order for him to reach his property, he has to pass through that, the grass and the trees.
Does he have a right of way over it?
No.
Then how can he do that?
Yeah, you can if he doesn't have if you don't have a recorded easement through your property, he doesn't have the right to do that.
He's got the,
He's got-
he's right next to the easement.
If he's
Yeah, but he's
next-
just saying that.
Right.
Is that what you're saying, that the right of way is, the road's in bad shape? And he goes over on the grass to get around this?
I don't mind that, but it's mainly, I mean, yeah, eventually it will. I can show you, I have another map here that shows. There's like an easement here. I guess that gives me my frontage. We're not allowed to put motor vehicles through that little triangle there. It's mainly, like, we're not supposed to really touch it, just to kind of keep it open, because there's a house right here.
Whose?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
It's like a ranch. But this kind of cuts through like their front yard, and it gives us, originally they owned all this land, and this is house, that's where I live now. So that's the easement there, but Lot 3 and Lot 2A, that's the new owner that's gonna do the 61A. This is the right-of-way. The right-of-way
Where does it,
it goes from Summer Road
right?
straight through the little dirt road, and opens up to my property here.
And why do they have to go through your property?
Because their land is here, and the right-of-way is like a thin dirt road,
Yeah,
and then the right-of-way contains like it's on my property, but it's like grass.
and which one is your property?
11.
Mine is, let's see, I'm looking at this upside down.
I want to confuse you.
Oh, yeah, this
Sawyer
is,
Hill's there.
yeah, okay, 10.
That's the one that's being changed.
That's me,
That's you.
yeah.
And where does he have to go through your land?
He would have to go through it on this right of way.
Right?
So he's got a right of way over your little sliver here to access this lot?
No, to
This one is
access,
8.
yeah, 8.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But he still has,
8 and, oh, 8 and 9.
well, 9 he's
Oh.
got frontage.
Oh, yeah, that's not, yeah, I'm looking at it a little bit. For some reason, my map looks a little bit different. Let me pull up this other one again. Okay, this one here, I'll be able to follow.
Is this up to date?
Nah, it's probably not.
Okay, so this is me here.
Yeah.
Here's the right of way. Here's Summer Road, the red. Here's the easement. This is the house that originally owned all the land. What the person bought was number 7. Here's their frontage. Goes all like this. And he bought 7 and 8. That's where he wants to do the 61A.
And he can't make it onto his own land from there?
Right, he can.
This is all like wetlands.
that's
There's like
Oh, okay.
rivers and there's like a
Okay.
stream that goes through there. But in order for him to access his property,
So he's coming through the right of way.
yeah, he has to go through the right of way
And where
But
is
he
he going to
still can-
interfere with your
He
grass?
still can. he
on the
can
whole
s-
thing.
well,
On the
you
whole
just-
thing?
You just grass this in then.
How do you get in there?
There's a little thin through the right of way. There's like a 6-foot wide dirt road.
And you get into your house that way?
Yeah,
So he can get in that way?
Yeah, you can get in
he
here.
can get in there, but that's how he gets in there now. But then in order to like, if he were to put like forestry equipment through, he'd have to alter it somehow. He'd have to either
Maybe you can
level
get him
off grass.
Maybe you can get him to pay for putting crushed stone down or something, and improving your driveway.
I'm just trying to more figure out my rights and stuff, because I'm trying to figure out what this forestry entails, because before last Monday, I never even heard of it.
Oh,
And I'm trying to figure out what,
Could be a guy with a chainsaw.
I'm trying to figure out
Tell
what,
him he has to do what Steen did and do it with a Husson team.
Yeah.
trying to figure out,
Yeah.
because our house, it's very private and quiet back there, which is why we live there. And I'm trying to figure out if someone's coming through with forestry equipment, cutting down trees, hauling them out, what does that do for me?
Well, you got that right of way. It can't go past the right of way, so that would restrict.
But he can go over the right of way.
Yeah,
I
see,
mean,
he,
can't go,
see,
can't go
this is-
wider if it's-
yeah, he talked about possibly widening it, but this is where he wants to do, like the trails and the forestry is all here.
He's got to put a plan together with, I would think, with Concom.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's going to be your answer.
Absolutely, yeah. And then whatever's in that plan.
Why would he
They've-
have a Concom? I mean, he's
Concom's
not
got-
making a conservation area. I mean, he's just putting trails in on his land. You don't
Yeah,
have to
but
go-
they wouldn't they oversee the?
Right.
well, they vote on the 61A every year, right? Isn't that the group that,
I know
I
there's,
think so, but I don't know so.
I know there's a-
I'd be curious to see what the answer is after he meets with Carolyn.
I know there's
Yeah.
a lot of wetlands there, like the trail goes pretty close to,
And they're
trail
gonna,
is
they're gonna
broken.
want to have input on that, because if he's, cutting within the wetlands,
Oh,
there's,
yeah.
Yeah.
certain setbacks that they can't touch, so I would think that they would be interested to see what kind of a plan he's doing and not letting him go willy-nilly.
do you know if like with the DCR, would they like be able to override anything that this town, like would they be able to override the conservation and say, yep, we approve his plan and,
That's, again, it's beyond what we would be able to,
yeah.
I don't know.
I know Tim has a forestry
Yeah.
plan,
Well-
but he's not here.
One of our members has a 61A,
Yeah.
and he probably has this at his fingertips, because he has forestry land where he,
Mm-hmm, yeah,
Actually, that kind of backs up to this.
yeah, it does, yeah,
yeah.
kind of up over the hill.
Right.
I'm just trying to, at this point, just trying
Is there
to
any
make sense of what's
other way that he
happening.
can get to that land?
If he crossed through his wetlands,
Yeah.
if he crossed through like that stream and,
I'd be shocked if Concom let them do that to get there.
You
That's
really,
why-
you
that's
really
why he
have
has
to
the
meet
right
with
of way,
them
so he doesn't have
first
to
to
do
see.
that.
Right, yeah. Well, I mean, you know, he's a concerned party, so I mean, he's absolutely has every right to go to conservation and figure this out.
Just how I heard about it too, it wasn't like months ago, they said, hey, we're thinking about doing this, what do you think?
That, I don't know how.
It was just
you
on
know,
Monday.
You have to notify people.
Yeah.
Or even if you do have to notify people, if you're gonna do any type of.
Yeah, if you're in an agricultural district and you want to do agriculture, I don't think you have to notify your neighbors you're going to do
That-
The
it.
I don't know.
the main thing is the way this was all sold with the right-of-way, you know?
And do you know, like, as far as the right of way, is there somewhere I could find out like my rights? Like the deed itself is.
Good lawyer.
Yeah. That's what I figured. Okay.
Well, there's a lot of stuff online because it's a Massachusetts law, the 61A and B.
Uh-huh.
And I know with 61A, there's a minimum amount of revenue you have to generate every year from sale of agricultural products.
But she said it was
$500.
61C.
See,
Yeah. Her.
61B is recreational. I don't see any 61C.
what's the forestry one fall under?
Yeah, his, I looked
There's
at
no
the.
61C.
I looked at the, he said
Does
61A and it,
forestry fall under A?
I bet it does. Let's just take a look. I think it does, because I think it says it on the forms.
he had to come up with a management plan to harvest
Yep,
timber on a 10-year cycle.
yep.
But we're not the experts in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Concom, but I would ask them, you know, if
Okay.
that management plan talked about how they pull the material out, because I'm sure if there's wetlands crossings or something like that, there has to be, you know,
They'll float it down the,
float it down the
I know.
wetland.
Yeah.
No,
Gates
they would
Pond Brook.
have to, they
Into the
would have
cranberry
to
bog.
agree to whatever that plan would be, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
Just because of the, you know, the potential impeding on the wetlands.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I mean, I'm right to be concerned, right? I'm not overreacting with this thing.
You're in a butter. Of course you have a
Yeah.
right to, you know.
Is it gonna be a parking area? Is it open to
Yeah,
the
you don't know
public?
what's going on. You
Who's
have
gonna use
every
it?
right to know what's going on there.
Do you know I might, yeah, I guess I'll have to find out more about my right of way if the public is allowed to walk on it, to access it, the 61A.
I would be shocked if it was. It's just to get back to his land.
Yeah.
So I would be very surprised if that was the case.
What?
If the public right away includes access to for the public to get back there for walking trails or for anything like that.
Like my right of way, it's private. I can kind of determine who uses it, right? Like it's my private land.
Well, a
Nick-
right-of-way is his right-of-way,
Yeah.
not yours
Oh, okay.
particularly.
Yeah, but there's certain things, I mean.
No, I
you
mean-
know, he wouldn't
Yeah.
be able to.
You can't put a gate up and say you can't come through
You
here.
can't put up a
can't,
gate.
Or
Yeah.
the party can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But I'm just thinking if he does like public trails, are the public allowed to walk up it?
Yeah.
To access
again,
the
they would
trail?
have to have a plan for access.
You gotta talk to Carolyn.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to her tomorrow after
We
5.
come back here and then we go back to Carolyn. Couple iterations.
Well, I've been on the
phone.
phone this week. I've talked to quite a few people in town. I called you today, actually, because they gave me a number, but it just rang a few times. I said, oh, maybe I'll just come tonight. Yeah. So,
Yeah, if you gave me this information over the phone, I would have known.
I know, 'cause
It's hard enough just looking at.
I know. Yeah,
Plans.
to see. All right.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much for your time. Yeah, I appreciate it, and
We may see you again.
you might.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, you
next
might.
time when
No
we
problem.
have Tim's here and he's got some experience on this.
Yeah, okay.
61B,
61B is forestry?
recreation and forestry.
Okay.
You have to have a
I'll call-
certified forest management plan,
Certified by whom?
the state forester.
Really?
Yeah.
our state forestry is.
I think he might-
Over in Clinton, 110.
DCR.
Past Clinton
Yeah.
High
See what?
School, which is on the
DCR.
left.
DCR?
I think.
Oh,
he's-
yeah, yeah.
I think
The
he's well on the way
Yeah,
to doing
it's-
that.
You
Sits
looked
off
up
in the
those
field
general
there,
laws,
yep.
61A.
Yeah, I looked that up, yeah.
so-
Yeah, I think he's well, because I know he met this last weekend with the forester to go
Okay.
over the plan stuff, so I think he's pretty far into the process. Yeah. Okay.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Yep,
Thank you.
Thank you for letting me sneak in ahead of you. All right, thank you.
So I thought I'd just talk to you a little bit about, sorry, I only have 2 copies, a little bit about what I've done since I saw you last. So I was invited to speak at the senior luncheon, and so what I did was I tried to simplify, because there's so much confusion around these articles, right? I tried to lay it out in a manner that might be a little clearer, cut out all the words, the extra words, and place the bylaw articles next to the ballot question articles, so they, folks can see they're really the same thing. We just have to go about it 2 different routes. Hopefully that helps a little bit. These are the bylaw amendments, and on the right are what we need to ratify. These on the
These
left.
two are swapped at the end.
Yeah, I didn't want to do, so they were typed up that way.
Oh.
She will change it, but I didn't want to go ahead and change it. That's how it was at the time.
Let's see. If these get passed at town meeting, then it has to go on a ballot.
Right, but yes.
If it doesn't get passed at town meeting, then you skip over this.
Doesn't, correct, right. So we're only going to address the ones that
Yeah,
get
this one.
voted on, right.
And then you go over these, so.
Yeah, exactly. And I wanted to make sure that people understand, because it's also unclear, that you want to vote yes in order to keep out the marijuana businesses, right? So that's a little confusing. So those were the 2 points I really made there, and also shared with them that there are going to be rides. I guess the selectmen approved the Berlin Council on Aging van to be used to give
Vote
seniors a
yes?
ride.
It can only be used to vote yes.
No. They're also going to be. It's going to be available both nights, right? So they did also decide that the town meeting was going to be both nights, and our articles will most likely be the second night, since they're at the end, since they're a citizens petition. I didn't realize they're going to have babysitting too, which is great. So since then, our community coalition decided that would probably be a great idea to hold some sort of event in town, which we're calling a community conversation. Unlike what we did the last time, which was more of a presentation and question and answer, this time, we feel like there really is a need for more open conversation about this. There's so much confusion that surrounds it. That we thought this would be a good idea. I did poll some folks in town to see if they thought this would be a good idea, and it was well received. So a couple dates that I came up with that Evie has available are April 24th and 25th. I know you have a public hearing on the 23rd, Tuesday, the 23rd
Tuesday,
of that week. So this would be either Wednesday or Thursday. I haven't chosen a night yet, because I'd like to see who's available. I think, it'd be great if we could have some representation from our different boards there, so that we can be there to answer questions and concerns that residents might have. I have invited our police chief. We'll extend the invitation to some other town leaders, and it's really just an effort to show some cohesiveness in all of this, and some, realizing that there's a real need here for conversation.
I don't understand how you're going to hold this meeting. You said not a presentation, but a conversation.
I know. It's difficult.
I mean,
It's
you're
difficult.
the leader of it. How are you going to?
Oh, I'm not a leader.
How are you going to?
I think we're just envisioning more, roundtable discussions. This is evolving here, and so I'm open to taking input from you. And really, our idea is if we could have some folks there in leadership, in authority, some experts in different areas that can speak to different questions and concerns. So I am hoping to perhaps have someone from the medical field. Some ER doctors at UMass are speaking out a great deal these days. So I'll see if they're available to answer some of our health concerns. But really, it's just to have a real honest conversation, because I don't feel like we've really been able to have one. We can't really have one at the town meeting, right? That's not really the venue for that. Social
Moderator whips
media.
into shape.
Right, exactly. Social media is just not a great vehicle these days. I mean, I can't even post an announcement for anything without, people getting a little negative. So I don't know. I don't know how else to do it. I mean, this has been a real struggle for about a month now.
He's going to do this at 19 Carter.
Yeah, we're hoping to, and the 2 dates that Evie has available are the 24th and 25th. She's penciled them both in so that I can take some sort of poll to see when folks are available, and we have some other community members that would like to take part. I know Marty Miller has also offered his help in being there, being present, to be able to answer questions and concerns and hold discussions.
The photographer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I welcome any ideas you all might have. I'm sure you'd agree that we need to have some sort of conversation about this. I mean, my idea a long time ago was that, about a year ago, I started working very closely with other community coalitions across the state, mental health providers, neuroscientists, other community leaders, and in that time gathered a lot of information, and my hope really was to be able to bring this information to the town and have us all work together so that we can better serve the town and decide what best fits Berlin. And that's what many towns have done, and I had, hoped for the same here.
How do you hope to advertise this or let people know this is going on?
Well, I'll post it probably at 19 Carter. I think I'd like to put a bulk mailer together and send it out to all the homes. I think that's really the most effective way.
That's probably the only way.
Yeah.
It's so hard to get. It's so hard to get in touch with townspeople.
It is. I mean, I'll send an email to all the town boards, make some phone calls if I can. We'll publicize it on social media. I mean, that's going to have its own challenges.
What happens when you do that?
When I put it on social media, on our
On the
Berlin town.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, usually you get caught up in conversations that are really negative, and there's, so.
You mean that don't want it, or just don't want to discuss it? Or?
I think
Yes,
there's a lot of
the
personal attacks that happen. There's a lot of personal attacks that happen, and it's just not effective. It's not really productive to what we're trying to do, and ends up getting.
That's the platform, though.
Yeah, I know.
Unfortunately, that's the platform.
Yeah. But so I think a bulk mailer will be probably the best way. And then hopefully enough people will show. And of course, if we have our town leaders there, if I can say, that they'll be represented there, if our police chief is able to come, I think more people will show up, and be more interested in what you all have to say than what I have to say. And that should be the case. So.
How did you publicize last time? You didn't mail anything, right?
No, I think I posted it around town, put it up at 19 Carter. I advertised it on the Berlin Neighbors Connect page. I was saving whatever money I had for the bulk mailer for the town meeting, if I remember correctly. But, this time I think we'll have to do the bulk mailer, yeah. So, I'm hoping you can all consider, at least send a representative if you can't all make it. And I'll speak to the selectmen as well. If you have any other suggestions and other people that should be there, that should have a, invitation, I'm happy to do that. What do you think about?
I guess the conversation, what effect does it have on the town? What effect does it have on everybody, saying, me personally?
Yeah.
And on my neighbors? Is it bad for the town? Is it good for the town? And
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's important to have them. I think there's confusion over how these articles that we have in there will affect the town. I think you raised some good questions the last time. What does it do to the zoning that we passed at the last town meeting? what are all of our concerns? Why do we need so many articles, on there? Why do we have to have a ballot, question, ballot election? These are,
I think this is good you had it in these numbers, because some people may
yeah,
be against just one of them. I think we
Right.
discussed that last time.
Yeah.
We got no problem with somebody who has a testing laboratory, but we don't want anybody selling retail. You're not-
right. Everyone has
I think
different concerns,
that's
right?
probably where you're going to see it.
Right. And so, I'm hoping that this community conversation, we can have these kind of discussions, like why might someone not want research facilities, or what's so bad about a cultivator, or what's so bad about, such and such, or what's so good about it.
Did you get a hold of Kane?
No, I didn't, you know what, I've been so focused on this right now, but I haven't done that yet. Need to do that. That'll be once I get through this. This is my priority for now. But I do want to ask a question, just to make sure I understood it correctly. The land itself is in Berlin, right? It's just that access was in Hudson. Someone had asked me that, and I'm like, all right, that's what I thought. I also want to, I just read an article, it's called, it was in the Boston Globe, the Spotlight team had an article exposing that there's really like 3 main titans in Massachusetts, and what's happening,
Read
right?
some of that.
Yeah, like you're only allowed 3 licenses per company, but what's happening is they're masking themselves through many others. And so that's something worth looking into, whoever is hoping to go in there to cultivate, making
What do you mean,
sure
like
we
Amazon owns
understand.
everything in the country now?
I guess, something like that.
Or
Yeah.
Amazon Light,
Yeah.
Amazon Prime, Amazon.
Yeah.
And then
this,
you
that,
look at
and
the
other
little
thing.
symbol down the bottom when you think it's a
all the
different
same.
company.
But that's gotten exposed, and there's a
Huh?
team of people working on
There
that,
is,
right?
there is, yeah, they're working on that. So I will look into that, but my understanding from the last meeting is that that's still, right now, we're just talking about the building itself, and we haven't really looked at, whoever wants to move in there would have to apply for a license and go
Oh,
through
yeah,
the
there's a
steps,
way-
so,
There's a whole bunch of stuff.
yeah, so,
Yeah, they can put the building there, just the use has to get.
right. So I'm going to, I'll look
I
into
can't even put
that.
the building there by right. They have a lot of other hurdles. They wanted to put a building there that's bigger than what the zoning would allow, so there's a lot of things that they have to do.
That's true, too.
So we'll be following that
Yeah,
and trying to
yeah.
attend.
Yeah. They
So,
have a long way to go.
Yeah. So I'll focus here and see what we can do with this. But do you have a better idea for sort of like, I'm talking about this community conversation, but
Well, you could get half the room to smoke and see what they're like afterwards.
could do that, but
Is
that
there
would
like
be-
a school nurse or something at Tohoto?
Yeah, you're the second person to mention that. Yeah, I think I could ask to see if they could attend, to be a part of it.
Yeah. if it-
Or
Yeah.
you can make a comment if they can't attend.
Yeah.
You get kind of a firsthand
Yeah.
observation of what's going on now with high school kids.
I spoke with a doctor today from UMass. He's a pediatric emergency room doctor. He just gave a talk at Hudson High School a couple weeks ago, and we met with him because the doctors right now, their frustration is that they're seeing all this stuff, in the ER, the things I spoke about the last time, and they're seeing it in younger and younger patients, and they just don't really have a vehicle to share this, right? And that's, I spoke about this the last time too. There isn't this consistent message that's out there. So so I did invite him. I have to give him the dates. I invited him to come and share his information if somebody does ask, but we'll see. They're busy, but I like your suggestion about asking a school nurse. I'd love it if someone from our community, that was a doctor, a physician, or a nurse could come and help. So I'll put that out there, and even our school principals. I don't know, what are they seeing in the schools? That'll be my work between now and then. But I'm hoping to send you all an email. I sent one to Chief Galvin today, and asking if you could attend, and if either of those dates. I know it's going to be a busy week for you, but if either of those dates work better for you, and then I'll pick the one that works best. And told Evie I'd try to get back to her by the end of the week. I think that's it. I don't know if you have any questions for me. I mean, I can come back the next town meeting, or the next planning board meeting.
We have
Hearings.
hearings.
Oh, that's the next, that's already that week, great, so it's here. Yeah. Well, if you have any questions for me tonight, I'd be happy to answer them. You know, I think that, I know I asked if you can support any of these articles, if you can discuss that. It would help. I think it would really help to show some support behind any or all of these articles. It gives it a little more credibility.
Well, last time we took the tack that these are the articles the town meeting decide. It was laid out. We went through the zoning articles, and that's what we were discussing last time. That we as a planning board would not take any stand on it, since this one actually doesn't affect zoning.
Does that make it easier or more difficult for you to take a stand if it doesn't affect zoning?
If it's by the board, everybody would have to agree to it
Gotcha.
in order to take a stand. And
I guess
otherwise, we have to just be normal citizens talking about
Yeah,
it.
we can always
That's okay.
personally talk about it.
Yeah, and that's fine too. But I think it's important to, I guess, either speak for or against it as town leaders. And that's what I'm trying to encourage folks to do in town this time around. So residents can have a sense of this and where it stands.
How do you feel about home brewing?
Home brewing?
Want to ban that in town?
I don't know. I don't
No,
understand the
she's
question. but-
digging at me.
Oh, gotcha. Well, my husband brews, so I'd have to
See?
say. We actually grow our own
Everybody has their
hops,
own
too.
use of drugs.
Oh, well, that won't
Drug is a-
won't affect, what we're doing doesn't affect home growing.
No.
Well, that's my point.
That's she's.
Oh.
she's
But you still, as a private citizen, you can still, raise 12 plants?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't affect home.
six plants.
No, 12 per
12 per
household.
household.
12 per
Well, 6
household.
per person.
So this doesn't, these are the kind of things that are important to share. Because this doesn't, if you wanted to grow 6 to 12 plants, you still could.
No, I don't.
Yeah, but a citizen could. This doesn't affect personal growing or personal use. It doesn't affect your medicinal marijuana use at all. So these are important things to clear up, for sure. So hopefully we will. But, all right. Thanks. Is that it?
Thank you for coming. Nice seeing you.
Thanks for letting me. I appreciate it. Thank you. Do you want to hang on to any of these?
No, we know what they are.
Okay.
You just
All right.
ordering them.
Yeah. All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
And you'll let us know what night gets picked?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to hear from you to see if you have a preference, if you think anyone will, because I'm going to base it on that, you know.
Wednesday or Thursday, yes.
If it's a Wednesday, I can't go. have
I can't
classes.
go Wednesdays.
Yeah, I have classes. on
Thursday
Wednesday.
is the better day.
Thursday's a better day for the planning board, is that, what do you think? How does that work for you, Jay?
I have to look at my calendar.
Yeah.
Typically tennis on Thursday nights, but not every week.
Okay. Well, do you want to email me with, when, or do you feel
Well, I'm
like?
Wednesday or Thursday, so it's.
He's open both nights.
You're Wednesday or Thursday, and you guys
I
are
have
both,
class on
you-
Wednesday, I can't do it.
I can't do it Wednesdays.
all right, so you're
What's the 2 dates again?
Thursday.
the 23rd,
4th and 5th.
24th or the 25th. It's a Wednesday or a Thursday. All right, and you can let me know. Get my email. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And I forget to ask, when you get out of here, can you give me a ride home?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, any other business here?
I don't know, do we?
I hope
else?
not.
No.
What else, was there anything?
What?